Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's story comes from Reddit. It is titled, I Have Been Following the Wrong Trail. The author is you, Trailrunner7348. He says if Bigfoot is real, he lives here. So last summer I was backpacking in the Beartooth wilderness with my girlfriend. We'd only seen one other couple in the 2 days we had been in the woods. We set up camp at around 4 p.m. at an elevation of about 9,000 feet above sea level. There was a small cave near our tent site, which had a roof, but not much else. It was enough to pique my curiosity. I stopped dead in my tracks, and my girlfriend caught up to me. I'm no expert, but it was definitely bigger than any cow or horse dung I'd ever seen before. It was dry and cracked, so it must have been there for a while. We had already lost the trail, and were bushwhacking through some pretty thick undergrowth. That's when we heard it. Even the birds stopped singing, and the insects stopped buzzing. There was absolute silence except for the sound of our own breathing. I pointed out the print, and we both stared at it for a moment. But since there was no other way around it, we pressed on. And this is where things got really weird. At this point, we were both getting freaked out, but we decided to press on. When I asked my girlfriend if she wanted to go check it out, she said, "No thanks, I'm just going to read." I don't know if anyone else has seen this before, but if you have, please let me know. Would love to hear your thoughts on this story. It looks like something that could be real. After I posted this, I showed the pictures to several people, including a biologist and a wildlife photographer. They both said that the photo could not be faked and that the chances of it being a bear are extremely unlikely. I wish more people were like that. The biologist suggested that it may be a rare species of ape that lives in the mountains. Like, did it just absorb into the snow or something? That's crazy. However, according to the National Park Service, there are no apes native to North America. Well, if it's following him, it could have easily wiped its footprints away. A lot of people who claim to have seen Bigfoot say that its eyes glow red at night. So that seems like a pretty common trait among Bigfoot sightings. And it's smart enough to know that humans are going to try to follow its tracks. So it just keeps moving and doesn't make any more tracks. So it seems to be aware that it's being followed. The wildlife photographer suggested that it may be a new species of animal that has not yet been discovered. He also suggested that the animal may be shy and elusive, which would explain why we never saw it during the day. You think it's fake? Let me know in the comments below. It's because of your support that I am able to keep making these videos, and I really appreciate it. They kept making fun of me and calling me a scaredy cat. If you want to go read it, you can. Also, check out my podcast. New episodes are released every Wednesday. And if you want to listen to the old ones, they're already up on the website. I also want to mention that the guy posted an update, and I am going to read it for you. Also, be sure to follow me on social media and on a messaging platform. I'm always active on there. So if you want to chat, just send me a message. Excited because I may have witnessed something truly special and terrifying because of the potential danger that this creature may pose. I am torn between wanting to protect this animal and its habitat and wanting to warn others about the potential danger that it may pose. I am not sure what the right thing to do is, but I know that I need to keep searching for answers. But deep down, I know what I saw, and I will never forget the fear that I felt when I saw those glowing red eyes in the forest. Looking up, I noticed a large print in the rock that looked almost exactly like a footprint. We didn't stop running until we reached the car. Once we got home, we decided to look at the photos we took during our hike, and that's when we saw it. Normally, you don't find both of those things, especially not in such close proximity to each other. It was covered in hair and dirt, and its eyes glowed red in the dim light. Its arms were long and muscular, and its hands were huge. It moved with an agility that I couldn't believe, leaping over logs and rocks with ease. It seemed to be watching us the whole time. I measured it, and it was about the size of my foot, but it didn't look like my shoe print. I took a photo of it and continued on the trail. It looked like a humanoid figure, but it was much larger than a human. It was covered in hair and was standing on 2 legs. As I went over to the cave, I could hear what sounded like hail coming from inside of it. I kept looking over my shoulder, but all I saw was the forest. My girlfriend and I are both avid backpackers, and we've spent countless nights in the wilderness together. So needless to say, we are both pretty comfortable being alone in the woods. But even though I felt uneasy, I knew it was probably all in my head. Thinking nothing of it, I looked in, and there was the source of the noise, a very large boulder. It was moving by itself, and then it stopped. I backed away slowly, thinking that maybe I had stumbled upon something I wasn't supposed to see. And so I returned to my girlfriend, who was still reading, but now with a smile on her face. After packing up the next morning, we decided to take a longer trail back down the mountain, since we had nothing to be in a rush for. This is when I started to notice things that I couldn't explain. About an hour into the hike, we came across this narrow stretch of trail that was between some rocks and a steep drop-off. As we walked along, I could feel eyes on me. Rounding a bend in the trail, I noticed what appeared to be another footprint, except this one was significantly larger than the first. Shortly after, we came across a clearing, and right in the middle of it was what looked like a pile of extremely large animal dung. At this point, we both agreed that whatever was out there didn't want us to continue on the trail. The trees in this area were huge, and the canopy was so thick that it blocked most of the sunlight. It was a loud, guttural growl that seemed to come from all around us. It wasn't like anything I'd ever heard before, and then we saw it. It was unlike anything I've ever seen before, or ever will again. We turned and ran as fast as we could, making our way back to the main trail. In one of the photos, there was a large shape in the background that we hadn't noticed before. Now, I'm not usually one to believe in things like Bigfoot or Sasquatch, but I have to admit that this photo is pretty convincing. When I shared the story with my friends, they all thought it was hilarious. Well, it's been bothering me lately, so I finally decided to come on here and share it with the world. What do you think? Is it a Bigfoot story, or is it something else entirely? Or is it just a made-up story? Let me know in the comments below. I found the original post. I'm going to link that down below. He says, I just wanted to give an update to the story because it's been bothering me. Experience has left me feeling both excited and terrified. So he's still trying to find out what it is. I mean, that's awesome. I love stuff like that. So I found a few things interesting here. So first of all, the fact that they found a big footprint and then they found the scat. It's pretty cool. Also, the fact that he saw a bunch of footprints in the snow, but then they all disappeared after a while. That's kind of weird. And then he keeps talking about how it seems to be watching him. And then the description of the actual beast is pretty interesting as well. It's covered in hair, and its eyes glow red. But yeah, overall I think this is a pretty good story. Found it pretty interesting. What about you guys? Do you think it's real? I'd also like to take a moment to say thank you to all of the subscribers and the supporters. So if you liked this video, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos. If you guys want to contact me directly, my email is listed below. Anyways, I hope you have a great day. Be safe out there. I'll see you guys in the next one.